Not all debt is the same. Some debt makes you poorer. Some debt makes you richer. Most people have never been taught the difference. We grow up hearing that debt is bad. Don't borrow. Don't owe. Stay clean. And on the surface, that sounds responsible. But the wealthiest people in the world carry enormous amounts of debt, deliberately, strategically, because they understand something most people don't. Debt is a tool, and like any tool, it depends entirely on how you use it. Let's start with the most misunderstood form of debt, the mortgage. Most people think of a mortgage as a burden, a 30-year obligation, a monthly payment that never seems to end. And if you buy the wrong property in the wrong market at the wrong price, that's exactly what it is. But a mortgage used correctly is one of the most powerful wealth-building instruments that exists. Here's why. You put down 20%, the bank funds the other 80%, but you own 100% of the asset. If that property appreciates 10%, you didn't make 10% on your money. You made 10% on the full value of the property. On an asset you only partially paid for. That's leverage. And if that property generates rental income above the cost of the mortgage, the debt is paying for itself. Someone else is paying down your loan every single month. That's good debt. Now let's talk about credit cards. Credit cards are not inherently bad. The mechanism is neutral. What makes them destructive is how most people use them. The average credit card charges between 20 and 25% APR. That means if you carry a $5,000 balance and make only minimum payments, you will pay back close to double over time. You borrowed $5,000, you paid $9,000, $10,000 by the time it's cleared. For things you probably don't even own anymore, a phone, a holiday, a dinner. That's bad debt. But here's what sophisticated users understand. A credit card paid in full every month costs you nothing. You get the float, you get the points, you get the purchase protection, zero interest, zero cost. The difference between someone who builds wealth and someone who doesn't is not whether they use a credit card. It's whether the credit card balance ever carries over to the next month. One habit, completely different financial outcome. Now, student loans. This one is complicated because the answer depends entirely on what you studied and what it led to. A $200,000 degree in a field that pays $40,000 a year is bad debt. The math doesn't work. The return doesn't justify the cost. A $50,000 loan that funds a qualification, which opens access to a career paying $150,000 a year, is a different conversation entirely. The question was never, should I borrow for education? The question is, what is the expected return on this specific investment? Because that's what education is, an investment. And like any investment, you need to run the numbers before you commit, not after. So here's the framework. Before you take on any debt, ask 3 questions. What is this debt funding? Is it funding something that loses value or something that creates value? Is the cost of borrowing lower than the return I'm generating? And am I in control of this, or is this controlling me? Bad debt shrinks your future. Good debt, used correctly, builds it. The next video is about something most people get completely wrong: assets and liabilities, and why the definition you learned in school is keeping you broke. If you're already thinking differently, you know where to find us.